Right, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of our weekly show, Indie Inquiries, where each week we take a look and review indie store pages and provide marketing advice and the best ways of presenting your game. I am, of course, Josh Placer, and joining me is my co-host from Nexus Games, Sharky.
Hello everybody. I am glad to be here as always. Glad to put on this show with Josh, and we have some. I'm pretty excited about some of our entries today. We have,
One Shark's never heard of before.
yeah, you know, one is from, the first one we'll be covering is from somebody who gives me a lot of really good feedback on Neon Continuum, and I'm very very grateful for that. The new word of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, the third one that we're going to get to, the second one is Josh's submission, which I don't know much about. But the third one happened to be another submission on my side from this little game nobody's ever heard of called Chromasia, the old word of the day. So we're going to be looking at my old game for the third one. So get hyped for that.
Right.
We'll get to see what kind of train wreck that is, and I can guarantee you it's going to be a train wreck.
All right. So again, for those of you watching this new, our experience is basically we have, I think at this point, like over 20 years combined of experience looking at marketing and game design and so on.
Probably
And
over
we are
30.
always, what was that?
Probably over 30,
Yeah.
because I got almost 20 on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I will in 3 years, or no, 2
Nice.
years. 2024. I'll have 20 on my own, and you probably got over 10 yourself. So
Yeah.
we're probably closer to 35.
All right, well, there you go. There'll be more cloud for us. But we're always looking for submissions from developers, whether it's on Itch, Humble, Steam, wherever you can post your game. If you'd like to review your store page, please get in touch. You'll find content links for both of us in our respective descriptions of these shows.
And make sure you join both our Discords.
So, let's begin with the game that Shark got, and this is Isle of the Crown. So, as always, we'll start from the top and work our way down. I'm ready to watch the trailer if you are.
Yep, let's go for it.
All right. Let's see how this looks.
So starting off with a black screen with no detail on it.
Yeah, not a good sign.
Yeah.
Music, I think, is matching it.
Yeah, the music matches. That exploit staying on the screen, and I think the text may stay on the screen a little bit too long. And
yeah, it's also kind of blocking the view. Could be moved up, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, and the fact that he's not cutting to different matches, like it's showing the gameplay here, but it should be more sectioned. It should be, it just feels more like a let's play rather than a trailer at that point. Now here he did a cut, and now he's doing another cut.
Still a lot of black screen.
Yeah, and there's blank black screens. I would completely remove those. And the black screens with text, I would either decorate the black screens kind of thing, so it's not just a black screen with text on it, or overlay the text over the gameplay. But he's already doing that, so it might get really muddy kind of thing. So
yeah, and I think to Pony's comment that it assumes that the viewer knows what's going on, and I'm not quite sure what is happening. I see pieces being moved around, but that's really about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I haven't played it, but everything I've heard and everything, it looks like a really solid game. But
the problem, of course, is conveying that to somebody.
Yeah, exactly, because that trailer definitely does not convey it.
No. And way too much black screen.
Yeah, way, way too much, you know.
All right, so let's see what some of these screenshots. First screenshot.
Not something you want as your first screenshot,
Yeah.
but maybe
Second
not a
one,
bad one, but
that could be
definitely,
like a fourth or fifth, I think.
yeah, probably.
Third one, again, it's just showing me like menuing.
Hmm.
Fourth one looks like we
Well, I
have.
think that's a tech tree or something on the third one.
Hmm. Fourth one actually has gameplay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I would say the fourth and fifth should be maybe first and second.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Do you think the fourth one should be first or the fifth one should be first? Because the fifth one has
Mm.
a whole lot going on,
But
and
it's
it's a
also
hard to
because, like,
readable.
yeah, I would say the fourth one. I like the tech tree one. I think that one should be like moved up.
Yeah, I would say make the fourth screenshot your first. I might say the fifth one for a little bit down. Maybe make the fifth one your third screenshot.
Yeah.
Maybe make the tech tree your second screenshot.
Hmm.
And then maybe make the second screenshot here the fourth, and make the
Yeah.
first one your fifth,
Hmm. I mean,
or just
the
replace it entirely.
the art looks decent. Like nothing seems like out of place or anything like that. It's just as we've said, when it comes to strategy games or anything like this, it is so hard to kind of sell it on screenshots because if you show this to somebody, are they going to know what this is?
Right. So Oatmeal wants us to explain why we say these things.
Hmm. Well, the big thing is that we are examining this as somebody, as people who know what games are. Like for us, we can pick these games apart very easily. But for the consumer, they don't have that experience.
Mm,
When you click on a store page, you have, what would you say, Shark? Like
5 seconds.
10, 15 seconds at most for
Mm.
somebody to go yes or no.
Or it's yes, I'm willing to continue, or
Yeah.
no, I'm out of here.
And the trailer is such a big point about this. Because for a lot of people, the trailer plays automatically. Now, for us, we tend to turn this off just so we're not being like blinded by or deafened by music.
Hmm.
But people are going to look at your trailer and figure out everything there is about your game, whether you want them to or not.
Or at least try.
Hmm. So let's scroll down a little bit more and see what we have here.
He's like, why would the black screen be bad? And why would we put this in the screenshots? Well, the black screen, when it's
Hmm.
just a pure black screen with no text on it, it's
It's just
useless. It's just taking up space. When it
it's
is a
wasted
black
time.
screen with text on it, it has some use to it, but it's undecorated, unpolished kind of thing. Now, if you did a black screen and then you put some, cool decorations in the corner kind of thing, like a book kind of thing, then it wouldn't just be a undecorated black screen with some text on it. But when it's an undecorated screen with black text on it, that's a very big no-no kind of thing, because consumers are going to associate that with your game. And if you only spent enough time to make a undecorated black screen with some text on it, what did you do the same in your game, kind of thing. So
And
if you're going to do a black screen, it needs to have polish to it the same way your game has polish to it. If you're making assets for your trailer, they need to be as polished as the assets, if not more polished than the assets for the game itself.
yeah, and one other thing that you kind of did as a mismatch, if you look at the 59-second mark on the trailer, where you see Kingdoms Fallen 1000, you see kind of the background of the game screen,
Mm-hmm.
you could have done something similar with your other points here, like at the beginning of the trailer, just so it's not a black screen. But you
Yep.
just really want to avoid that whenever you can.
Yep. You want it to be polished,
Yeah.
I mean, you can do the black screen, but it's got to be not just a black screen. It's got to be a polished black screen. But,
Hmm.
a blurred out, world with the text laid over it would also serve just as well, if not, maybe even better than that black screen.
Yeah. Lengthwise, I think the trailer may be a little bit long as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is a little bit long, but,
It's kind of hard to know where to exactly cut.
well, a lot of the first part of the trailer went really slow because he didn't have any cuts in there. Of course,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean he can't do cuts in there and make it that way. I mean, it's a turn based game, so there's not going to be much action in there, but you need as much action in there as you can. And, jump cuts
I
between different clips can certainly give you part of that.
Yeah, I would say for like a strategy game like this, or any strategy games in particular, or that genre, you probably want cuts of like maybe early, mid, and late game. Like show the player what it's like to begin the game, show what the general play is, and then just show like to Pony's comment, show like a climax, show like crazy, board is completely taken over, somebody's lost. Hi, Joshua.
Oh, we got two Joshes.
Mm-hmm.
Two Joshes don't make a right.
All right, I'm gonna scroll back down here and see what we have. So,
We're going to scroll
early
down to the
access,
About This page,
yeah, more maps,
or
more
we
there,
or
more
we going to the early
cars.
access.
I'm going kind of through early access. Let's see,
Okay.
online. This perhaps the last thing that will be added. All right, so you do mention online again. Online play is one of those double-edged swords that if you don't mention it, people are going to get really annoyed with you. If you mention it's just remote play, they're gonna be like, "Really?" But it is good you are thinking about that. I think that does kind of curtail some of that complaints.
Yeah, and the fact that it's early access, that also
Mhm.
somewhat curtails those complaints.
Yeah. All right, I'm at the about this game part now. From a simple home to my kingdom, join team discussions. All right, so you have links there using cards. You have the Isle of the Crown logo to
Hmm.
expect for players. I don't like the Steam remote play together part.
Yeah, I mean, that really doesn't have anything to do with your game to a point. I mean, it technically does, but it doesn't at the same time.
Yeah. And you probably like if you're going to include something like that, that should be more along the bottom of the page because so far somebody has scrolled down quite a bit. There's still nothing about the gameplay.
Hmm. And like there needs to be GIFs and animations and all that stuff
Mhm.
going down here, and this is full of just text and like people find text as being dry. They need a diversion to keep on reading. They need GIFs and everything to keep their assignment up so they will keep on scrolling down. So like generally you want like, you know, a few lines like map variety, and then you want a GIF that shows many
Card
different varieties of
variety,
maps. And then
yeah,
you want
and
card variety, and then you want a GIF that shows the variety in cards.
yeah, definitely card variety. Like
Hmm.
if card variety is a major part of your game, I need to see that because so far on this entire store page, I have not seen that.
Hmm.
And another point about GIFs and images is that they also give somebody a clear idea of what the game is.
Hmm. It
Because
defines
right
it
now,
better.
yeah, because right now, if somebody looks at the store page, they have no idea what this game is or even how to play it.
Yeah, and honestly, I know of the game before here, and from this Steam page, I don't know what I'm looking at exactly. I
Yeah.
it's not defined to be anything about the gameplay other than you move one unit out to another space and then another space and then supposedly you battle somehow, but like it doesn't really tell me what that is. And I know that I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to capture the castle kind of thing, but it doesn't clearly, like define what the castle is or that that's even the goal kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah. So again, the problem again with strategy games in particular is that you really need, I think, even more images and GIFs for a strategy game than you would an action game.
Mm-hmm.
Like an action game, you can show me a 3 second or like a 2 second GIF. I'll know almost exactly how I'm going to play that game. With a
Mm-hmm.
strategy game, no. Like you did break up the section, so that's at least a positive there.
Yeah, with the blue
But
text, which is really good.
yeah, so like map variety, there should be a GIF and an image. Car variety, GIF and image. Different modes,
Maybe.
yeah. And then endless replayability. There should be kind of like your big selling GIF for endless replayability.
Yeah, probably what you want to do for endless replayability is show literally like 100 matches in a GIF that just flash by like this, kind of thing. Like
Mm,
you see like maybe one image or one play every like point 3 seconds
mm,
or something, kind of thing. So it's like one play, different GIF, different image, playing, and just compile up a bunch of them and have it, show off that there is that endless replayability.
yeah. And move the remote play probably down below all that.
Yeah, that should be pretty much at the very bottom.
Yeah, probably above credits.
Yeah, above credits, but
Hmm.
below everything else.
Hmm. Now, one thing that I think may cause you trouble is where you see the notice Isle of the Crown requires a controller, playing with the keyboard and mouse isn't supported. That I think may annoy people, especially with this being on Steam and on a computer platform.
Hmm.
And I would,
I would
if
definitely get
you are,
some keyboard support in there.
yeah, and I would mention it there as well that, keyboard, mouse support coming soon or something along those lines, because that is a red flag, I think, for a general consumer.
Yeah, it is. Now he does have like links to his Steam community, his Discord, and his Twitter on the bottom of his early access.
But
But
it should also be up here in your title description.
yeah, it should be up in here.
Hmm.
You need to add that through Steam into
Yeah,
here.
right in this lovely little section.
Hmm.
All right, so I think I am ready
Well,
for.
we have a second image.
Okay.
And you got that second image I showed you? Haven't
Let
you?
me see. Hopefully that actually. Oh, it actually worked pretty well.
So this is updated art that he's done, and I think the game is looking a lot better than the little bitty pieces.
Yeah, and that is actually another very big problem.
Mm.
You don't want art on your store page that isn't representative of what the game is now.
Yeah, I think he just got this in though,
Okay.
or it may not even be in engine kind of thing. But I think this alone is worth an update to the trailer and everything else. I mean, like I think
Yep.
you kind of need to redo the trailer as it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you also need to redo a lot of screenshots, but especially with this kind of thing,
Yeah.
I think this will you know, help you so much kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Definitely.
it's on the store. It's on announcement. Yeah, but most people don't read those.
Yeah, you need this as on the actual top of the store page. This needs to be in the trailer.
Hmm. Because most people aren't going to go to that. You're going to lose 90% of your people in the first like 15 seconds of the trailer kind of thing. So if this is not in the trailer, keeping a greater percentage of them, they're not going to see it. They're going to have to, the way the consumers will digest this is they'll do the trailer And if they happen to make it through all the way through the trailer, then they'll start looking at your screenshots and your title card, your information over here. And if they get past all that, they may look at your early access or they may skip it entirely. And they will definitely go to the about this page, whether, they hit the, early access thing or not. This will either be, this will be after it, which, they may just skip it entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll go through here. And if they're still in by here, they're more than likely already going to buy your game. And then, very rarely will they come back and look at the recent announcements and events. But that is the very last thing.
Yeah.
And you don't want something that critical, because this art is so critical compared to, critically good compared to your other one, your old one, that you don't want that to be the very last thing that somebody's going to see, because by the time they get to that point, they probably already own the game. And so only people who own the game are going to realize that you changed the art, and that's not going to sell it to the people who aren't interested because of the art.
Yeah, and here's another point. It's also kind of misleading marketing. That you have two completely different styles, or the game looks completely different in these images. That's also a very big no-no for consumers.
Yeah, because you may end up finding out people actually, certain people like this better than this, and they buy it and they find out that it's this, and they go to refund and leave a bad review.
And for those of you watching, think about your store page like this. When you're all the way at the top of the page, you have 100% of the engagement. As you start scrolling down, as you start scrolling down, essentially the audience starts ticking away. And the more you can retain their interest until you get all the way to the bottom, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm ready for a grade. What about you?
Yeah, I'm ready for a grade. So, the trailer, I think the trailer gets what? A D minus? A D?
I would give it, I think I would give it maybe solid D. It's not the worst one we've seen.
Yeah.
It just needs some sprucing up.
Yeah, I would say D. D or D plus. Which is bad because that's going to be a majority of your grade.
Mm-hmm.
Screenshots, they're not bad, but they would be a lot better with the new art.
And the fact that there is new art kind of hurts the grade even more, actually.
Mm-hmm. And, I think a little bit of reordering will definitely help you out here. Not to mention, which we didn't tell him about. He asked about why would we reorder the GIFs and everything. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because you want to be able to see, what the game is about first. So that's the reason why you would want to see the first one first, because that's the screenshot that tells you the most information about the game. Mm-hmm. And you definitely want to end on, a high note kind of thing. So you would, probably want to end on something like the 5th kind of thing. You would probably want, your menu here that shows your upgrade tree and such, probably a 2nd or 3rd kind of thing. Maybe more gameplay stuff as 2nd and this as 3rd.
Mm-hmm. And you can also leave major UI screenshots as kind of your final ones. The final screenshots are for people who are already kind of sold on the game, and they're just looking for more information about it.
Yeah, I would definitely get rid of this. I think I would definitely get rid of the first one. What do you think about that first one? I mean, it tells you what your goal and everything is. I mean, if anything, I would keep that as a 5th, but,
Yeah, that's more of a final screenshot, I think.
But do you think it would be a good screenshot, period? Because I'm questionable on
that. With the new art, no.
Well, I don't know if any of that art got replaced. I
But
think it's
if
just the
you look
character
at
art.
the top of the screenshot where there's like the picture of the hexes, if those hexes are not indicative of the game anymore, then that needs to be changed as well.
They are. Those are. I think those are the same as the new one. It's just the characters that have changed.
Hmm.
At least as far as I know of.
Yeah, so I think overall,
Well,
I
what
think I
about
would
the
agree.
title card? The title card, I think, is a pretty good title card.
Yeah.
I think this title card. I would give this title card a A
Hmm.
for the
What do you
game
think
that it
about
is.
the C and the N kind of like extending out onto the border a little bit?
You don't like that?
Well, we've talked about some of them that it either looks off. Like,
He's
what do you
also
think
got the
that?
crown extending off too.
Yeah. So do
I
you think that works for this one?
I think that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say this is A minus, somewhere in there. This title
Mm-hmm.
card.
It's clean.
Yeah, it's clean. It's looks really good. And this is also a big part of your grade.
Mm-hmm.
This and your trailer are big parts of your grade, kind of thing. And I think you could use another tag down here. I think
Access
he's
casual strategy. There should be like a multiplayer.
yeah, a multiplayer tag.
Mm-hmm.
Although you know, I
Well,
don't
not
think he has any actual multiplayer in there yet.
other than remote play.
Is that in there? I thought he said that was coming.
Well, remote play should be working immediately as long as there is a multiplayer functionality in the game.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if that's in there though. Oh,
Because it
it
is
is.
list.
It is. He said it's local only.
Okay, so it is remote play.
Yeah, so you can do remote play. So I would put multiplayer on there.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what would you give the overall grade of the store page?
Uh, title card's really good. Trailer's really bad. Screenshots are misordered, and everything could be a lot better with the new art.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. This one's hard.
Mm. I think I would put this in the maybe like D plus D category. What about you?
I was debating between like D plus, and C minus kind of thing. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess I'll go with a D plus since that's sort of in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Pony gives it a C minus.
Mm-hmm. The problem again is so much of this is wrapped up in the trailer and what images you show the consumer.
Hmm. And the fact is that you really need this art because these characters look way better
Mm-hmm.
than the other.
Yeah.
And so does the
Pony's
one.
the software one tonight. All right.
So
But I.
Joshua Reyes gives it a D.
Mhm. Well, the two Joshes are pretty accurate this week.
Oatmeal gives his own page a D plus, D plus. So he's equal with me.
All right. I am ready to move on if you are.
Yeah. Let's go to our second game,
All right. So this
Alien
is
Life Simulator.
So this one was submitted to me by the developer last night, and I also had a press key to check out for next week's show. So I've
Oh,
not had a chance to look too much at this one yet.
yeah, and also, DB Oatmeal here in chat is also the developer of the last game.
Mm-hmm.
And also, somebody who is really, really helped me out a lot. So I hope this helped him out. I hope it, because I wish him all the luck with this game.
And to Devious's comment about there's a demo, yeah, I am. Let me scroll down here. Yeah, I am not seeing any mention. Wait, here it is, right here. Download Isle of the Crown demo right at the bottom.
Yeah,
Can
I've
you?
seen it, but I don't know where I've seen it on there.
Here's a question. Like, I'm not sure if you know this, Shark, or anyone watching. Can you move these elements, like download Isle of Crown demo, buy Isle of the Crown? Can you move those places around the store page, or does Steam just like put it like right there?
I know Steam puts it in a certain order by default, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can adjust it, but I don't actually know. I know that by default it's in a certain order,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that I'm pretty sure that Steam locks early access definitely to the top,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know beyond that. I think that I'm just unsure. You know, I would guess that you could not reorder those.
Okay.
I'm guessing that Steam would walk all of them into place, but
Can
I've
move it.
never
Okay.
played around with that stuff on my store pages, which will be our third game, my last store
Mm-hmm.
page.
All right. All right. So let's take a look at Alien Life Simulator. I'm ready for the trailer.
All right, let's pop that trailer.
There. So it starts off right into the action.
It's got the door over it's got the text over the gameplay and out of the way of the gameplay at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's showing a little bit samey environments, which would be showing a lack of variety. A little bit delayed at some points where it sticks in the menu for a little bit too long. And I know they're trying to show stuff in there, but like probably should cut that shorter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got the call to action on the at the end.
I
I think
think
that was a
maybe.
pretty solid trailer. I mean, it wasn't the best trailer, but I think it was a
Yeah.
solid trailer.
I feel it's the right length too for that.
Yeah, it was a you know, never was I in that length of time saying that when is this trailer going to end? Yeah.
And to DV's comment, that trailer, the text cut off. Let me see. I don't. It should be all like on the screen itself. It could have just been how it was being shown.
Let me see.
Because on mine, nothing is being cut off.
Oh, yeah, that's something on my end. Let me see if I can fix that.
Yeah, like this moves. Like as a trailer, it moves at a really good clip. If you know what I mean there. What's cut off on my screen? Could also just be. Let me see. I want to watch it. Yeah, that's just like how it's being rendered because full screen is different from the store page. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there, that should be fixed on my side. Good eye on that.
Mm-hmm. How did you fix it on your side?
I just fixed the render, the thing, but that also makes it where now it sucks on the other part because now it shows the top part of my bar with my browser.
Uh, bum, bum,
so
bum.
so it solved one problem and created another.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So overall, I would say this is a pretty decent trailer.
Yeah.
Now, one part that kind of annoyed me is, let me see, the 13, 14-second mark when you're shooting these enemies, like they're just like really blending in the background.
Yeah, I think that's more of an issue with the game than the trailer.
Yeah.
And that would definitely be something the developer probably needs to address.
Mm-hmm. But overall, I would say the trailer is the right length. It shows the gameplay. We have a call to action. I feel like the final, like maybe 10 seconds or so, is a little draggy there. What do you think?
Well, I mean, that's the call to action.
Yeah. I mean, like when we get to the manage your emotions part, we see
Time.
kind of about 34 seconds.
Yeah, that was the part I was saying about sticking too long in the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I think you did miss the call to action too on that, Devious.
Oh, I did see something like that in the. I
He
saw
he,
like
he
a.
had an end card, but I don't think it had a call to action of
Mm,
go wish list or buy it, which is just missing a little bit of text on it, kind of thing.
yeah.
I mean, you had an end card, which is
Mm-hmm.
part of the call to action. So you had part of the call of action, but not the entire call to action.
Yeah. What do you think about the thumbnail for this one? I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think this has a pretty good thumbnail. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at some of these screenshots. The UI for like the stats is kind of like sticking out to me in a bad way. What about you?
Yeah, that feels generic and very, very bad.
Yeah, one thing I think we've learned is that if you just feature a lot of circles, like when you have like that kind of like circle style, it just really reminds you of mobile.
Mobile. Yeah. And it's not just mobile, but it feels like cheap mobile. I think you could do circles and not feel mobile, but or cheap, but this feels both mobile and cheap.
Yeah.
And that would be another problem with the game itself and not necessarily a store page, but since it's on the store page, it affects consumers that are looking at the store page.
Mm-hmm.
So henceforth it affects your grade. Because the more unappealing your game is in the screenshots and trailer and whatnot, the more you know
Yeah.
it.
I think like overall, like the art of the game has kind of like that. I don't want to say low quality, like low res look to it, but I think it works for this game. Like it kind of like sticks out in your eye.
Yeah, and I noticed a few of these screenshots were also in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like like this fifth one, I'm pretty sure that was in the trailer, and I think the sixth one was also in the trailer. And you never want to use screenshots from your trailer in your screenshots
I
because you want to people are going to your screenshots to see more content, and if you're
it's
showing the
not
same stuff, then they're going to think that your game doesn't have as much
it's
content.
not the same screenshot. Like it's a different background, but it's showing like the same UI element.
So it's different, but it looks the same.
Mm-hmm. Like his like in the trailer, it's more like of a grassy mountain area, while the screenshots are looks like more like icy,
Hmm.
cavernous.
Yeah, and then you look at the sixth one, and it's the same exact thing, just without the menu, basically, and starting to run.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna scroll down and get to the about page or
Don't
about
you want
this
to go to
game.
the early access page
There's not really a lot to say.
in the early access?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So about this page.
All
So
right.
right off the bat, a big, high quality GIF. That's an A plus right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting off on a good note on this about page. I mean, it's not a
Yeah.
A plus for the entire about page, but it's a plus for a good way to start off. And also, that's a pretty flashy GIF. You get to
Mm-hmm.
see a fire, and take out an
Yeah, and he gets
enemy.
knocked
Death
down.
animation, really
Yeah.
solid image.
Yeah, and you have a different text for each section.
You got your blue text, and Devious did that same thing too, which was good. But the thing is he did not divide up his, like these divide up the text, but the
Mm-hmm.
GIFs also divide up the text.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good thing to make GIFs? That is something I do not know. I
Yeah.
would just, because I've got to get good at making GIFs. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. Uh,
The
but I know there's plenty of programs out there that are really good for that. I'm just unsure what any of them are. Maybe somebody in chat can
Yeah.
point Devious out some.
I feel like I want more on the store page. What about you?
Well, the about this page is really short.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't got off the beginning of it, and then I scrolled down, and it's like, whoa, it ended.
Yeah. I would like at least like you have a feature, explore procedurally generated environments. I would like what we said in the last game with our crown about having like a slideshow of different procedurally generated levels.
hmm
I think that would work here as well.
Yeah, I think it would. And the day-night cycle, you can easily just capture that in game. You'll fast forward as a GIF. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more.
yeah, more GIFs and whatnot, and not necessarily more text, but more GIFs. Because like you need to you want to break up the text as much as possible. In the ideal situation, which you can't do ideal on every game because every game has certain constraints, but ideally, you want one sentence and then a GIF, one sentence and a GIF, one
At
sentence and a
most,
GIF.
like 2 lines.
Yeah, you want to keep it short and precise. And see, like they have a lot of space here, right here of text,
Mm-hmm.
but it's manageable. But like if they could get away with less, I would recommend getting away with less. And part of that is the way you word your descriptions and making them as least wordy as possible. And the other is getting text in a GIF.
Mm-hmm.
I would personally not. What do you think about that, Josh?
Yeah,
Because
I think for the gifts, it's more about showing the game off.
hmm yeah, I think you're modifying the games at that point, and you're then people are going to get into the game and either expect that text and be disappointed, or they're going to think that you're tricking them from the beginning. I think you might run into trouble on that.
Yeah. So, I guess like comparing both games, this store page is definitely has far less on it,
hmm
but it's stronger with what's on it than the first game.
Yeah, I think that the they both have a really good uh
Thumbnail,
thumbnail.
title, yeah.
This one has a really good trailer. The screenshots, like a few of them lack, like this fifth one kind of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
there's not much difference in between the fourth and the sixth kind of thing, so I would probably chop one of those out and put in something else. But like GIFs are pretty decent kind of
Yeah.
thing. I
I
meant
would like.
I meant the screenshots rather. The early access page, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's
Mhm.
fine, I guess. Um, the about this page, like this is pretty strong, but then it just runs completely out of gas. It's like a race car that runs out of gas before when it's halfway down the track kind of thing.
I would like at least an image or a gif of like a boss fight or
hmm
something else like, along those lines. Even something that shows like different guns, because it looks like they're just using the same gun in almost like the same gun in every screenshot or every image.
hmm Which I mean, maybe they only have the one gun, but
Hmm.
no, they have more than one gun. They definitely have at least two.
Hmm. So, in terms of like what to change, what to add,
They
really, I would
definitely
like.
lacked on tags. They only have
Mhm.
4 tags. You want at least 5.
And there's no mention of a Twitter in the description.
Yeah, I don't see. There's a link to Justin6 on YouTube. Is that? I guess that's the developer.
Yeah,
Um,
but like
but
Twitter, you should have on there.
yeah, that's the only link I'm seeing. But it's in the right place, right here. It wouldn't hurt to put it in the about this page and whatnot too, but you definitely want it here
Hmm.
in this section.
So overall, I think this is a stronger story page than Isle of the Crown. There
Mm.
really isn't a lot, like just like little things to improve on. Trailer, I think, was mostly solid. Maybe just like maybe cut some or like shorten the time between some of the text on screen.
Yeah, I would say the trailer's probably like A minus maybe,
Hmm.
maybe a B plus somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Screenshots I would say probably like a B plus.
Hmm.
The title card I would say probably about a A.
Hmm.
Tags, not enough tags, early access, the about this page is good at the beginning, but then it just completely falls flat
Papers
after
off.
that. So,
Yeah.
maybe a C, D,
Mm.
C plus,
So
probably a
overall,
C plus B minus for the about this page.
yeah, I would say really close to like C plus B minus, like definitely in that kind of range. I don't know if it would go any higher. I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't go any lower.
Hmm. But as we all know, this capsule image, the thumbnail, and the trailer are the most important parts.
Hmm.
And luckily for this game, that's where it scores the highest.
Hmm.
So I would say for this game, my overall grade would probably be, I don't know, um, B plus maybe. What are you thinking?
I think everything together, I think puts in the B category. I'm just not sure where in the B category.
B minus, B or B plus?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I might go to B, B
Yeah.
plus or B kind of thing.
I think B plus may be just a little too high for me for this one.
Yeah, yeah, I, I would agree. We'll go with B. I think I'll go
Yeah,
with the B.
I think like solid B for me. Like maybe, yeah, I think like solid B, more leaning towards B than B minus.
Hmm.
Because like Shark said, trailer is good, thumbnail is good.
And
Like
that's over half of the battle. That's like three
yeah,
quarters of the battle or more.
yeah, and I think part of the challenge again with like the thumbnails, like, I've seen so many bad thumbnails,
Hmm.
and like this one is very clean. I like the kind of custom they use, like the tentacle there.
For the
Like it
logo.
stands out,
Hmm.
and it stands out in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I could show you guys some of the Keymailer ones that I've seen as the train wreck convention.
Speaking of train wreck convention, are we ready to move on to the next one? That's
Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, here's a quick one. I just want to get your thoughts on this. If you look at the what is the currency of the early access version, there's a quotation next to where it says there, and then there's just like a naked quotation at the bottom. Any dynamic enemy and friendly AI. Is that correct? Like I feel like that's like a little off.
yeah, the quotations feel weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks like quotations used in programming sense instead of text
Mm-hmm.
sense. Because I mean,
Just
something
like
like that would make sense in code, but
it's like alone on that line. Like it's just like nagging. I feel like a little like thing like poking me in the back of the head when I'm looking at that.
yeah, and that's another important thing. You need to make sure that your text is as right as you can be.
Mm-hmm.
You almost need to hire a grammar expert to to make your all your text kind of thing. Tell him what you want to tell him, and then let him write it in the most
And
perfect way.
Pony's right. You don't need a period when you're using bullet points.
Hmm. Yeah, and he did put a period at the end of this one, but he didn't do it in any of the others.
Yeah.
And the fact
But,
that we nitpick this stuff is because other people will.
mm-hmm. All right, let's go to our third and final game for this week. And that is a game that I know Shark has never heard of before.
No, I've never heard of this game. Never made this game. Had zero to do with this game. It was never the word of the day for a very long time. It was, never it's always the
Uh-huh. Get some popcorn ready, people.
So this is the Steam page for my last game. And just to show that I'm not above criticism and whatnot, it's like let's do this. Let's throw this up here.
All right.
So,
I am ready to show the first trailer.
all right, let's go for it.
All right. So right off the bat, you began.
Story of the king and queen.
Why aren't you starting?
Everything you know about SRPGs.
Oh, what's wrong with
Play aside.
Steam is being very odd right now.
An unlimited cast of other characters.
Let me reload the page.
Let me stop my trailer.
Throw.
Wait for you to catch up.
There we go.
Okay,
so you start with the logo, which is not what you want to do.
Yeah.
Of the king and queen that twists everything you know about SRPGs.
Absolutely.
You'll play aside. Violet.
You at least have text over gameplay
cast
footage.
Of other characters on their quest to find the truth. Bash your way with rocks. Throw your boomer scissors. Slash with paper tornadoes. You'll journey with them to find the murderers.
And voice acting over it.
Shake the world to its very
core. Black image or black background.
Paper scissors on steroids.
Yeah,
I feel like the voice acting kind of clashes a little bit. It's a little like too quiet and peaceful.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So you want to go to
I
the
do
second
like
trailer?
the fact that you have like the kind of like custom text font for the words on the page, not just like white text.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And I would say lengthwise, it's good. You did not end with a call to action. It looks like.
Yeah, definitely did not. And it very well could have, because I had the end page. I just didn't put a call to action on that end page.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's take a look at the second trailer.
And Steam's being funny on me.
Yeah. Oh, let me reload.
Okay, there we go. I gotta play it.
Yeah. Serious Murderer. We have in-game. I'm going to pause for a second, because is the text not being centered right, like, in the trailer? Or is that just, like, how it's being, when I full screen it? Because it looks like the text is, like, maybe, like, slightly center bottom.
It is center bottom, but it's rising up to center.
Okay.
Because it's coming out of the background.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be, kind of rising up from the background.
Mm-hmm. I do like when the trailer picked up a little bit and you saw like some more crazy powers.
Yeah.
Overall, like the trailers are, I would say they're above average. They're good.
Yeah, they're serviceable.
Other than like the missing call to actions and the logo.
Yeah.
Like the content that's in them is good.
Mm-hmm.
Screenshots. And we've had this discussion about kind of the mismatch art.
Yeah, the mismatch art definitely really screws up all these screenshots, but it also screws up the game as a whole.
Yeah. And I would also say that your final screenshot that's just literally your thumbnail isn't really needed.
Yeah. But I think the first screenshot where, leading with the paper tornado, I think that's a really good strong starting point there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have included one that shows, like, instead of the Chromasia one at the end, I would show one with like all your characters, like the troop management screen.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, as a strategy game, you want to show people like some of the major UI elements, some of the major things. You want that to be your first screenshot, but that doesn't mean it can't be like your last or your second.
Yeah, and that last one is really pointless.
Yeah,
super pointless. But I didn't show any of the UI or anything in there. I did show off, a funny moment in the third screenshot in there in the
thank
story.
you, Tony. Yeah, the paper. You mean the OP NATO?
The paper tornado is the weakest attack in the game.
Well, the enemy just keeps spamming and kills all my guys with it.
Well, it's a long range attack, and I need to shorten up that range just a little bit when I do the remake of it.
Game design F, people. You all heard here right now. All right, let's scroll down. So, no gifts and no images, at least at the top. Yeah, nothing here. You have things sectioned, but
I'm
it's
not using the blue
showing
text.
different text for it.
Yeah, I'm not using blue text.
Mm-hmm.
And I have nothing as of GIFs or images.
Yep. You have key features. You have bullet points, but you have periods in your bullet points as well,
and explanation points. But I think the explanation points are fine.
Yeah, but the periods, no. Steam achievements, well, mouse experience soon to be classic. Yeah, so
there's only two with periods. The last two.
Yeah. What's going on here?
But yeah, this is rather dry, and it's all, plain because I didn't use the colored the blue font, and I did not use the any GIFs or anything to break this up, or any like custom title banners kind of thing. And I also didn't provide any links anywhere to any YouTube channels, any Twitters, any of that, which is really bad.
Yeah. And of course, the reason why it was unlisted is that the game is no longer being available for being sold.
Yeah, because I had to remove it because of LLC issues.
Yeah. So, in this case, the trailer is good. The screenshots are clean, but as we've said, the art in them is kind of hurting the game.
Oh, it hurt the game really bad because that's the main reason why it commercially failed.
You don't really have like the about this game section. It's just it's plain. There's just nothing here that is like really getting somebody excited about this game.
Yeah, I think the features and everything. I think the text that is here is good. It's just missing the blue, and it's missing GIFs to break it up. And I think that if I just made a few things blue, like Chromasia, key features,
and
just maybe those two things blue, and then included like 5 or 6 GIFs down here, that would change us from what I would call probably right now a D- or an F plus into probably like an A.
Like if we look on the store page or on the trailer, like you show like the Rocky like fireball, shoots himself forward move. Like each one of like your more crazy powers should be, I think, a gift down here, or at least like 1 or 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
like the tornado. When the book slams down.
Yeah,
like you need to show motion.
Absolutely.
You need to show action.
Absolutely.
Now, I know at the end of your trailer, let me get
the first one or second one?
First one. the where's the 29-second mark.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's what you're talking about, like kind of hiding / revealing the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this doesn't help. Like, it's a blur. Like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I would honestly have, like, at this point, maybe have just shown the actual image because it's so nondescript that it's not necessarily a spoiler. And for the chat, I want to hear your opinion on that, whether or not that is what you feel.
Yeah, I really didn't know, and I honestly still don't know on what would be the best way to do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I should have absolutely showed some of the stuff where the characters are purple, and I wanted to hide that because of spoilers, and I should have definitely showed that. I just unsure about the final boss.
I would have shown it because in a game like this, it's so like nondescript that I think you can like get away with it. Like, as long as you don't say this is the final boss, on the thing right there.
Yeah.
I thought on the thumbnail though, I like the idea. Yeah, and I would agree with what Devious is saying. Like on your thumbnail itself, like some of the text is a little hard to read. Like it's like blending in a little bit of the background.
Yeah. I don't like the thumbnail at all anymore. I used to really love it, but that was the only art asset we got for the game was that background.
Yeah.
And the only thing other assets we used was some of the sound effects. Maybe about 50% of the sound effects were assets, and that the background behind the title screen / thumbnail was an asset. And now that's kind of gotten out there really wide, and there's no way I'm using that for the remake.
Yeah.
But I
Like
do.
if you look at, and I think this is a good point to bring up the other two games. So if you look at Isle of the Crown,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at Alien Life Simulator, the thumbnail it pops. You can see the name of the game as clear as day.
Yeah, I mean those thumbnails were clearly superior to mine.
Yeah.
By a long shot. And part of that's because I used an asset.
Mm-hmm.
And not made something custom for it. Of course, I didn't know it was an asset because it was given at first because it was given to us and told us that one of the people that was working with us that he made that, and turns out he didn't.
Your like tags I think are good. I can't think of any other tags I would include on that list. Or the popular use of fine tags. Let me see what's down here. Eventual casual and yeah. I can't really think of anything else I would really like add to your genre tag.
Yeah.
Now you don't have any contact information. No Twitter, no Facebook, nothing.
Yep. Even though I have those. Obviously. They're down in the description.
Let's see. I do like the first review. It's functional, I guess. You should put that as the quote on the trailer right there.
Oh, that's the. You remember how I told you when I was removing the game from Steam, how we had 100 people buy the game overnight, and only one of them booted the game, and the one that booted the game left a review. Well, that's it. And it's that review that sounds like it sounds like a really negative view, but it's a positive review. And, and that's I mean, all our reviews are positive. All the ones that count anyway. There's one troll one that, from a free key that did not count towards the score. And that's the reason why we have a 100% positive review score on Steam. 14 out of 14 positives. People really love the game, but, and
to play it is a different story.
Yeah. This one, I think he hit on a lot of things that are true. It's functional, I guess. The controls are a bit awkward. I don't know about that part. I didn't find that part, kind of thing. But the weights of the theme, like the real thing that he hit on, I think, was, that the art sucked. And he put that in there twice.
Yeah.
And that's all to do with the mismatch.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I guess, as a reviewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, and to Thomas's point, yeah, if you have the social media stuff, put it on the store page.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, it's not. Again, I always like grade this on the cover, the ones that we've seen. This is definitely not the worst store page, but
Well, maybe we should give each thing a grade like we did the other stuff. I mean, let's start with the capsule image / thumbnail. What would you grade that? I would say D minus.
I would put in the D range. It's not horrible, but it's very generic. It's kind of hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like popping out as much as some of the other ones that we've seen.
Mm-hmm. What about
Tra-
the trailers? We have 2 trailers where a lot of games only have 1.
Yeah. The trailers, they're not bad. Again, like you start with a logo, you don't call action. Those are just like minor dings.
Mm-hmm.
It's not horrible. I don't know. I would maybe say like C plus B minus for the first trailer.
Mm-hmm. I was going
Like,
to say B, but and I was going to go probably like a C minus for the second one.
I would say like C plus for that one.
So you're harsher on the first one and
Yeah.
less harsh on the second.
Yeah, the second one shows at least a little bit more in terms of action. The first one, you have like the nondescript, blurred out final boss. There's some just like black screen there.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at the 13-second mark in the first trailer where you see the tactic page, a screen like that should be in one of your images. In your image
The shop page
wheel.
where you recruit your characters.
Mm-hmm. So going down the about this game section, you have again like your features are good.
Mm-hmm.
There's just
No polish.
nothing really here.
It's missing the polish. It's missing the blue text, and it's missing the GIFs. And
I would probably put this in the D category because there's no maybe D plus C minus for the key features.
I would say it's a D minus, but with just a little bit of work, it could easily be I think an A plus, because I think if we put in the blue font and we put in some GIFs, this could easily be an A plus.
Yeah. Like your descriptions are good. Again, like where you have your key features, it should not like 2 lines, you have like maybe like 1 word, under your third line. That is like the right amount of length for each one of your bullet points.
Mm-hmm. And they're all expressive.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very expressive.
20+ hours. Yeah, like what you have here is a solid foundation, but it needs to be built on.
Yeah. This is one of those things where it's a very low grade, but could very easily become a high grade with a very little bit of work.
Yeah, and to Thomas's point, like having a gameplay trailer, that could also be good. Like have just a pure, highlight reel trailer showing, crazy powers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So here's a question for those of you watching: which one of Shark's trailers do you think is better, the first or the second? And we'll let the chat, we'll let the delay kind of work its magic there.
I would personally say I like the first trailer a lot more. And I also think the first trailer is more fitting for a first trailer. But the second trailer definitely had that, like slow start with the story stuff, and then it had the impacting with the gameplay at the second part. And I think the slow part would be really bad for the first trailer.
Yeah.
Can you link them to the store page, Josh? Because I know I can't.
All right. Hopefully it will work. I know YouTube is being a little funky there.
Yeah. And it's also very hard to get a link to it since it's delisted.
Yeah.
You won't find it. You won't be able to find it. You know, you look in Steam and you won't find it, but you know, you could Google search it and find it.
Mm-hmm. Can you put a link in your chat?
Yeah, I should be able to.
All right, and then the second trailer. I think the second trailer flows a little bit better just because of the more of the action to it. Well, the first trailer has some nice descriptions to it. And again, I like the text font you use in the first trailer more than the text you use in the second one. That's just like the generic white.
I think I used the same text, didn't I?
No. In the first one you have it's kind of like blue, almost like a
yeah, I did change that. I forgot about that. Because the first one uses the font from in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one does I had a different font for that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to point this out because, you know, nobody else is noticing it. And it's something I didn't notice until just a day or two ago. If you look at 9 seconds, you see Psy right here, and it has the blue font with the black background, right?
Yeah.
And then you let it go to 11 seconds, and now that color is not black, but rather a dark blue for the font. Mm-hmm. And then you go to 12 seconds, and it's back to black.
Mm-mm.
So at some point, this violet text got recolored from black to dark blue. And I don't know when that happened. I didn't even notice that until just a couple of days ago. And that's bad. Nobody noticed it though, but till now. Now it can't be unseen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and the music always seemed like a little conflicting with kind of like the metal theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think let me see, what's our time? Yeah, we're over an hour. I think we can grade this. So, like we said, like there's a lot of good pieces to the store page. It's just not coming together.
Yeah, I think this would be a good concept for a store page. I think that if you replace the background behind the thumbnail to something else that made it more readable, I think this could totally work as a really good thumbnail. I think that if the about this page, if I swapped the Chromasia name and the key features to a blue, and then threw in a GIF here and a GIF, like right in here, and a few GIFs, like probably like 5 or 6 GIFs here in the key features, this would be an A+, I think,
But for where it is right now.
Mm-hmm. And, also the art mismatching, that would have to be fixed because that's dragging everything down. It's dragging the screenshots down, it's dragging the trailer down, it's dragging everything down. It would drag the GIFs down if I put them down here, kind of thing. It would drag everything down, So, I mean, that would definitely have to be fixed, kind of thing. And something I'm working on for the remake.
Mm-hmm. So, what would you overall give your own store page? And I'll see if my score matches yours.
I mean, I would say the potential is very high here. I say the potential here, with some tweaking and whatnot, could easily be the first, the best grade we've ever given a store page. But with the way it is right now, though, I mean, the trailer is not bad. This capsule is pretty bad. I don't know. I would
Putting
go
Shark on
probably
the
like a
spot this
C
time.
minus, D plus.
I think I'm a little kind here. I would say maybe like C minus C. Like I feel like when we go D, usually it's because of something really bad sticking out.
Well, the art is
Well, but the overall store page itself.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have some pretty decent trailers. I would say like C minus C, maybe leaning more towards C minus for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pony is in the same spot.
Joshua Reigns gives it a C.
Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't go. I don't know if I would go D, but I don't think I would go higher than a C.
Yeah. But with a little bit of tweaks, what do you think you would give this?
With some better gifts, better formatting of the store page.
You mean actual
that
gifts? There's no gifts.
Yeah,
With some gifts and with some blue text in there,
it
with a
could easily
replacement of the
show to a
background behind
B,
the
maybe B
Perfect Show logo.
plus, like right there. Like even if you just like without any changes to the art, just putting some gifts and such in there would probably bump it up to easily, I think, a B, B minus.
Mm-hmm.
There's no neon yet, exactly why.
Yeah, there's no neon.
Mm-hmm. And again, you have to include, you need contact information.
Yeah, I didn't put any of that in there either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so I think overall right now I would say C minus C for the store page over, completely.
Yeah. But for the review score, I would give it a triple A plus 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 plus. So
I would say it's pay to win, give it an F. Or it's functional, I guess.
the perfect review score.
Mm-hmm.
Functional, I guess.
That's going to be my new metric for games. And instead of saying not bad, I'm saying it's functional.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right, but I think that will take us to the end for this week's Indie Inquiries. So, as always, if you're a developer working on a game and you don't mind us ripping and tearing apart your page to analyze it, please get in touch. We're always looking for submissions. You can find our relative contact links in the descriptions down below. I am on Twitter at GWBicer. And where are you, Shark?
I'm sitting here ripping apart my own page. And you can find me on YouTube, Discord, which I would really encourage Discord. And links for those are down in the description. You can also find me on Twitter, links down in the description, but it's also Nexus Games INC1 on Twitter. And I do streams pretty regularly, about 3 or 4 streams a day, a day.
A day.
Yeah, I do 3 or 4 streams a day. What about you, Josh? Do you do 3 or 4 streams a day?
Mm-hmm.
No, I do 3 or 4 streams a week, kind of thing. And we have this show. We have the Safeway Stream podcast, which is on both mine and Josh's channel. By the way, links to all of Josh's stuff, his Discord, his Twitter, his everything, YouTube channels, all that's down below in my video as well as his. And yeah, I mean, like, definitely if you're looking to submit a game or learn more about game development, definitely join,
like and subscribe,
everything.
Hit the bell, lick some buttons, whatever you want to do.
Lick the smash button.
Mm-hmm. And to Josh's comment, yeah, we do these shows every Thursday around 3:30. The Sunday shows are around 4:30 ET.
Yeah, and the Sunday shows are where we do the Safeway Stream podcast, and that's where we tackle game dev topics in depth. We take one game dev topic and we really break it down, kind of thing. And with and then on my channel only, I have on Fridays we have my dev streams where you get to see and participate in me making Neon Continuum, our current game, which looks way better than this game.
Yeah, and to Thomas's comment about will it be like an A plus or an A example? That's a really good question. I think we've given like 1 or 2 A's.
I don't think
Have we given?
I think our best grade so far has been a B plus.
Maybe. Or the Ori 2 page is actually not that good of a store page.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these big games actually don't have very good store pages, and there's a very good reason behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Is because they don't have to have a good store page to sell like hotcakes. They can cheap out there, and it won't cost them anything because people are going to buy Ori 2 because it's Ori 2. They don't even need a trailer. They don't need anything. They need the name. You get the name, and there's already 90% of their sales.
Yeah, Factorio isn't that good of a page as well.
Yeah.
Like the Dyson Sphere one, I think is a pretty solid one.
I haven't looked at it in detail.
Yeah, we did that one I think a few weeks ago. As the custom banners.
Oh, then that must have been one of our D plus or our B pluses, not D pluses.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been one of our D pluses.
Sharky's just destroying the grading scale this week with all his 5 to 7 streams he does a day.
I thought it was 8 to 16.
Mm-hmm. That's if you skip lunch.
Yeah. I skip breakfast and supper too to do all the streams.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like we said, again, we could easily go on like an hour-long rant, but just like very quickly, like what we find that the games that they blow up somewhere else typically don't have good store pages to them. Mm-hmm. Like they sell on the name and the clout rather than on the store page. Yeah. I'm curious what Five Nights looks like. Yeah, like the Five Nights store page is not that good.
Yeah.
But it didn't need to be good because
it's Five
Nights. Again, you have big names reviewing it.
Yeah. And I bet you if you looked at Among Us, that would probably be a really crappy page too. I bet it would be like a D- page.
Let's see. It does have it has organization to it, but no GIFs or images.
Mm-hmm. And they're really missing out on the chance of getting a GIF of the mouth spreading open, the tentacle coming out and piercing right through their head. Because that would have been an amazing GIF. Yeah. I mean, nobody's ever made an animation about that on YouTube.
Yeah. The Fall Guys one isn't that bad. It has custom GIFs for each section.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
No, right, hopefully my next store page will get us an A plus
or an N plus.
Yeah, beyond the A is the N.
Mm-hmm. Need all that neon.
Yep. All the neon.
All right, but we're gonna wrap things up here. So again, I'll be back later tonight for our regular game streams. I have no idea when we'll play tonight. I need to still think about that. But tune in next week for another episode in the Inquiries. And again, Sunday will be our game design show, the Save Extremecast. Anything else to mention before we say goodnight?
One question about your game stream tonight. Are you going to get Gouda?
Probably not.
Didn't think so. I knew so. I knew you wouldn't get Gouda. Anyway.
All right. Yeah, not a good store page for Neo 2, but we'll talk about that another time. So, have a great night, everybody. Come back for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. Until next time, take care.
See ya.